My name is Megan, and this is Everything Lit. In today's vlog, I am going to be reading 3 romance books. I would say they were highly anticipated romances. So I'm going to be reading Mistakes Were Made by Meryl Wilsner, Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade, and Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. And that's it. See ya in the vlog. Hello, first check-in of the vlog. Love to see it. First read of the vlog is Mistakes Were Made by Meryl Wilsner, and this came out in October, and the whole time I was reading my spooky TBR, this book was just eyeing me from the corner like, hey, you know you want to read this. Like, look at how cute they are with their little purple and red accents together. So I read this author's debut, Something to Talk About, which is a slow burn, female, fantastic. In this book, the 2 characters hook up day 1, like first chapter. It is a best friend's mom kind of romance. It is female, and this girl hooks up with an older woman at the bar, and the next day finds out it's her best friend's mom. Whoops. Like, they met in college, kind of best friend, so she didn't know it was her mom at the time, but spicy. And I am 100 pages in. I like Cassie is the college student, and she is, I think she's a junior or a senior. Erin, the mom, is a doctor, and of course her daughter's 18 and she is 38. So, bit of an age gap romance. They're so cute. Their banter and like, they both feel their age, but also like, you never, like, if you're a silly person, I feel like you don't grow out of that. And if you do, that's sad. I'm really enjoying it so far. I cannot wait to see where it goes, because where I'm at, I'm 114-ish. I'm 100 pages in, roughly. No one knows that these 2 characters have hooked up and have this chemistry. There's the tension of the romance, and then there's the tension of like the taboo-ness and what everyone's gonna say when they find out. And I'm living for both of those things, because I want them to be together already. Like, I'm already rooting for it. I bought in so fast. Like, the tension of waiting for it to explode, like waiting for the daughter to find out, waiting for Erin, the older main character, waiting for her friends to find out, and like her ex-husband to find out. And I'm just, the drama is going to be good and stressful, but it's a romance. So like, this is why people read romance, because I can have the tension and the oof and the drama, but then I know that they're going to be together in the end and everything's going to be worked out. And so you can experience that tension and worry and stress safely with, you know, like literary fiction, which I also read. I say it like literary fiction, but with like literary fiction, you might have that stress and that drama, and there's no guarantee it's gonna work out in the end. Like, one of the characters could freaking die. Like, it's just, sometimes it's too stressful. Where we're at with Mistakes Were Made, I'll probably update you all every 100 pages or so. It's just cute and good and spicy. Good morning. Today, I'm going to be trying to score Taylor Swift tickets, so that's stressful. And I have a meeting at work at 10:15. You know when tickets go on sale? 10 a.m. I'm going to be late to that meeting because I have my whole life to work, and it's like a standard meeting that we have every month and doesn't really affect my team, but we have to go. So that's the plan. Diva is here. Say hi, Diva. She just looks like a black lump. Update on Mistakes Were Made. I am now 200 pages in. It's very cute. The older main character, Erin, finally told her therapist about sleeping with a younger woman, and the therapist's reaction was really good and genuine. I think now stuff is about to start going down because Erin is feeling confident enough to like tell her best friend this happened. And I don't know, I think that the daughter has also found out, but we don't know that. There's a bit of tension happening there. Vino, they get crazy in the morning. So I am really enjoying this. Characters, wonderful. I think if you're gonna read this book, it's for the characters, which in a romance is what you want. You want to root for the characters. They each have their own goals and aspirations, and I think the romance is teaching them each different things to help them reach those separate goals. And that's what romance should do. The plot is fairly straightforward. It's very much a slower, quieter plot. I say quieter, but there's been a lot of spicy scenes. I mean, it opens with a sex scene, so that's exciting. The writing is solid. There's a lot of humor that I like. I was Goodreads stalking this author's page, Meryl Wilsner. I didn't know she's from Michigan. She was born here, moved around a bunch, and now lives in Michigan. So that's exciting. I could run into her on the street and never know it. I still have like 150 pages left, but this is on its way to being a 5-star romance for me. It's so sweet and funny and cute and sexy and female. So like when it's a queer story, that's automatic like 3-star right there. I'll let you know if I get Taylor tickets. I am hopeful because I also have a Capital One card. So if I miss out on the 10 a.m. pre-sale, I've got another shot at 2 p.m. But after that, it's game over. Will we do it? Find out. Another update on Mistakes Were Made. It is evening now, and there was a moment in the book where like the side plots were taking over and the main romance was not really a thing, and then like 3 pages later the romance came back. So I think the pacing is really good in this book. I like the characters. I don't love Parker, which is the mom character's daughter, right? So like Erin is the mother, Cassie is the college student, they're sleeping together. Parker is Erin's daughter and Cassie's friend, and she doesn't know what's happening, and she's just kind of a brat. Not a fan of her. So that's how it's going. I did not get Taylor Swift tickets today, RIP. Spent all day in the queues, didn't get them. But the Capital One pre-sale is tomorrow, so we got another shot. I'm not optimistic, but I'm hopeful. We'll put it that way. Guess who got Taylor Swift tickets? It's me. I got 3 tickets for me and my friends, and it was stressful, but Capital One came through. Yeah, Vino? Did Capital One come through? So, going to Taylor Swift in like 8 months, which is enough time to pay off my credit card. Book-wise, I've got less than 100 pages left in this, and Vino, you're so loud. I'm really curious as to like what the 3rd act breakup will be, because the obvious choice of the 3rd act breakup is that the daughter finds out that her best friend and her mom are sleeping together, and then like they stop seeing each other because yes. Sir, what? Can you chill? Can you chill? Look at this boy. What are you doing? Sit your butt down. Yelled at. Anyway, Vino, I'm trying to film. I'm not talking to you. The obvious choice is that the daughter finds out, but I feel like that is too obvious, and there's like something is happening at the section of the book that I'm in. Vino, something's happening where the daughter is no longer talking to like her best friend, and so there's like weirdness happening there. And Cassie, the best friend, thinks that it's because Parker got a girlfriend, and so she's just spending all her time. Yeah? Oh my god. So she's just spending all her time with the girlfriend, but I think it's something else. So we'll see. I'm gonna go before I get yelled at more, because he wants attention.
Good morning. It is quite early. I just showered, clearly. And I wanted to update you all that I finished Mistakes Were Made. So let's talk while I heat up this breakfast burrito. It was super cute. So let's talk about the characters. You have Cassie, who is 22. She's turning 22 soon. She's about to graduate from a college. I already don't remember it. And she makes best friends with this freshman, Parker, because Cassie's best friend, Acacia, and they've been best friends forever, is Parker's roommate. So that's how they know each other. That's how they learn about each other. And so you have Cassie, and then you have Parker, who is a freshman. She's learning about caring about other people's feelings, making friends. And then Erin is the other main character, and she is Parker's mom. And she is figuring out what makes her happy. She got divorced from Parker's dad. They have shared custody. And at the beginning of the book, Erin is at a bar for family weekend, or she's at Parker's school for family weekend, and she goes to a bar because Parker is with her getting dinner with her dad that night. And at the bar, Erin meets this very confident, sassy, sexy young girl who's super into her, and she thinks, you know, why not? One night stand. And then the next morning, Cassie shows up to breakfast with Parker. Well, if you didn't know, the young girl is Cassie. And the next morning, she shows up to breakfast with Parker as like a buffer, because Parker woke her up and said, hey, come to breakfast with me and my mom. And it gets complicated. It gets a little messy. Cassie and Erin start sleeping together on the sly. Then when Parker invites Cassie to stay for like 2 weeks of Christmas break, it gets not out of control, but they can't keep their hands off each other. And so they decide, you know, we'll just do this thing and it'll be like not a big deal. And they essentially both tell themselves they're in a friends with benefits relationship and just keep sleeping together. And then for Valentine's Day, like, spoiler alert, things get heated, and like things just keep happening and they keep talking to each other. It was very sweet. It was very cute. It was very good. And you could really see both of the characters growing and understanding their own emotions throughout the story. And the reveal at the ending, instead of being this big dramatic, like Parker's mad bullshit, it actually turned out really well and was really good. And just Meryl Wilsner I will read anything they write. Absolutely anything. Like, this is the second book I've read by them. Absolutely fantastic. I think I like this book better than their debut. So 5 stars, obviously. And Shipwrecked came yesterday, which this is the next book I plan to read for this vlog. And then hopefully by the time I finish this, Astrid Parker Must Not Fail will be here. So very exciting. Gonna start this today. And this is about Maria and Peter. And they have like a one-night stand. Are we seeing a theme? They have a one-night stand like several years ago. And then in present day, they're filming something together on some like remote Scottish. They're filming on some remote island together, and it's sort of a forced proximity, missed opportunity kind of story. very excited. I love Olivia Dade. I read All the Feels in like February of this year, and that was fantastic. That might be her favorite. Nope. That might be my favorite of her books so far. That's what we're doing. Diva, you wanna come say hi? Oh, look at this girl. Yeah. And that's the update.
Hello, welcome back to me, I guess. I am about 90 pages into Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade. This is one of my most anticipated reads of the year. I loved All the Feels by her. I loved Spoiler Alert. I think I actually read All the Feels in February when that came out. This is the third in a connected series about actors on this show called Gods of the Gate, and it is sort of like Game of Thrones in this universe. It's very famous. It's an adaptation of a book. People aren't happy with the last season, but this sort of goes back to the first couple seasons with these two actors, and as I said, I'm like 90 pages in, and I just was not rooting for this romance. I'm starting to get into it, and I don't know if I burned myself out on romance or if the Meryl Wilsner book was just so freaking good, nothing can compare. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not enjoying this as much as I wanted to quite yet. I think it's gonna get better. I do like the two main leads' interactions with each other. I think together they're really great. Separately, I don't know. I just don't know how I feel yet about these characters. And for a series of books that is so built on the characters reading fan fiction and being involved in the fan community, this one does not have that premise. So it is a bit different from the first two books. I will say this does have two fat main characters, which is lovely because usually you only see like one. Hopefully this gets better. Keep reading for like 10 more minutes. Probably won't update you tonight. Hello, let's talk about Shipwrecked. I am 174 pages in, and I am liking it a lot better. I definitely feel more for the male character, Peter. I guess I should talk about like the plot a little bit. So Peter and Maria have a one-night stand, and then they go to audition for the show that is called Gods of the Gate. It's like a Game of Thrones in this universe, and they both get the part opposite each other, and they are filming on this Irish island for 6 years after this one night stand. So it shows a little bit of that first year and then a little bit of the second year, and then it skips forward in time to the last year. And so we see their relationship start and how it grows and how they deal with the showrunners, who are canonically jerks, and they're both plus size. And there is this thread of American work ethic with Peter versus her Swedish like security, I want to call it, because, you know, as an American, we don't have a lot of things for artists and actors especially to like fall back on, or any sort of funding or like anything really, if they come into hardship or don't have jobs. So that's interesting for sure. Their steam, their smuttiness is intense. I am liking it. I think that I'm a little not in the mood for romance anymore. So maybe once I finish this, I will take a break and then read the next book in this vlog. So there might be a bit of a time jump. But do like this so far. And where I'm at right now, they've finished filming their show, their very last episode last season, and now they're going to go on a press tour and be around each other for 2 weeks, and I think it's going to get very steamy. But I'm not sure what the big conflict will be now that the show is over and his job wouldn't be threatened by like standing by her, which is what the thread has been so far. So I'm not sure what the conflict is going to be. I'm worried. I don't know. How do I put this? If the big reveal, if the big end declaration involves Peter giving up his job for her, I don't think I'm gonna love that. So it really, as always, it depends on how the book ends, whether I'm going to like it or not, because I'm sort of in the middle so far. And like, sidebar, not for this vlog, but I'm gonna tell you about it anyway. I'm listening to the Atlas Paradox on audio, and I kind of don't care. Like, I'm glad I didn't buy the books because I don't think I care that much about it. Is that a hot take? Let's get back to the romance.
All right, another update on Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade. I'm like 240 pages in, and we have just had this emotional reveal. The character Maria is showing that she trusts Peter with not just her body, but now her heart. And I did like the emotional reveal. I think it was emotional. Something about this book isn't grabbing me, and I don't know what it is, because I loved Olivia Dade's other 2 books in this series, and I know in a previous clip I said like the fan fiction aspect was kind of lost in this one, and now it's been brought back in because Peter and Maria have been filming on this Irish island for 6 years, and so like several seasons of the show have passed, and they have quite a huge fandom of people who ship their characters, Cassia and Cyprian, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. They also have a lot of fans who RPF, or real person fiction, ship them, and we get snippets of those RPF fics in here because they've been sent by Alex, one of the characters from All the Feels, and he's kind of a troll. He's my favorite character of the series, hands down. But what really bugs me is that I cannot pinpoint why this book is not working for me. Part of me wonders if the book doesn't work for me because they had this one night stand in the first chapter. And so even though we're supposed to be feeling and building sexual tension throughout the seasons, they have already done it once. Like, they've already had that. So the sexual tension feels not manufactured, but like it's already been done. Like, we already read that. So what is going to be new about them having sex, you know? But maybe it's that like I can't feel the tension. I don't know. And honestly, getting real for a second, it could be internalized fat phobia. As a person with a fat body, I have a lot of internalized fat phobia. It's our society, it's our culture, like it's everywhere. And, you know, we're not immune to propaganda. And I wonder if part of my enjoyment is because of that, because these are 2 fat characters loving each other. And maybe I just can't get down with that, which is really sad if that's the reason why I'm not enjoying it. It could also just be that I'm reading romances, 3 romances in a row, and I'm just over romance. I have really been in the mood for like something melodramatic and over the top, life and death, like fantasy. I'm thinking I want to read a YA fantasy. Or maybe it's that the stakes in this relationship aren't that high. Like, the stakes seem high. There's no will they, won't they. It's a romance. I know that they'll end up together. The conflicts are not enough for me to be like, oh, but what if they don't get together? And I think that's kind of what I need in a good romance. Like, I need to not be able to see how this is going to work. And then the author, boom, makes it work. And I think that's what was so nice about Mistakes Were Made, because you have this huge age gap. You have best friend's mom kind of romance. And I couldn't see how their relationship would work in the real world. Even though we could see how it worked between them and how good they were for each other, there was still this unreality of like, but how is this going to work in the real world long term? And then when the book answered that, when we found out, it was emotional and a good surprise. And with this romance, really the only thing... Hi, Squeaks. I have a visitor. Squeaks, say hi. Say hi. There he is. What a turd. So with Shipwrecked, Sir. The conflict is really just like, she's from Sweden and he's from America. But they're both incredibly well-known and now, like, well-established and rich actors. So, like, they can just live in two places. They can just fly back and forth a bunch. Like, there are plenty of shows shot in Sweden and they can move back and forth to LA. Like, the conflict is not that big a deal. Like, if you really love each other, you'll make it fucking work, right? So, I don't know. There's just something about this book that's not working for me. Can you hear this man? This is why his name is Squeaks. Anyway, I'm hoping to finish this soon, just so I'm gonna read something else before I get into the next romance. You know what else is interesting? Heterosexual romances, they get lower and lower on my list. Like, I want queer romances. I want bisexual character. Actually, they might be Is Maria bisexual? But like, Mistakes Were Made is female. The next book I'm going to read is female. I have a couple male romances on my shelf. Like, maybe I'm just over heterosexual romance. Unclear. Guess we'll find out. Probably second to last update on Shipwrecked. I'm on page 334 out of like 400. Hi, Vino. And, okay, I figured out what I don't like about this book. I don't like Maria. There, I said it. I don't like the main female character. I don't like her. Maybe it's like a culture clash. I don't understand her point of view. The third act, like, breakup, or the third act conflict is happening, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Like, it's so stupid. You know those moments where, like, a character says something and the other character just, like, decides something without talking about the other person? Like, they're supposed to be so fucking solid at this point. Like, they've built up this thing. They've had their emotional, like, revelations. They both know about each other's pasts and each other's traumas and issues. And then this thing happens and Maria is just like, deuces. Why? Girl, what? Just tell him what you need. Like, he didn't I'm just having a conniption, and I have like 40 pages left, but it's midnight and I should go to bed so that I can be up for work tomorrow. But I kind of want to just finish this book and get it over with, because you know what? I didn't like it. I don't think that I like this book, and I'm very sad about it. I'm very upset about it. Like, I've loved her other two books. They're right over there. They were good. But maybe it's the friends to lovers thing. Like, I love a slow burn, but friends to lovers, I don't like. I don't like it. And you know why I don't like it? Because stupid shit like this happens where they should just frickin' talk. They have years of friendship to build on, and they're not just gonna talk it out. Like, you're just gonna dip like that
on someone who's been your friend for years. Like, the loyalty in me says, you not catching me doing that. Yeah, Vino? I'm not catching you doing that. You're so cute. Someone got him on the schnoot. Anyway, needed a little Vino break to calm myself down because I'm big mad. And like, I'm gonna bet that this conflict is gonna get so bad that Maria will actually go home to Sweden, and Peter's like big reveal will be him, you know, turning down something important and going to her. And maybe even they'll move to Sweden instead of LA. And I don't like it. I'm not happy. I will update you when I finish this book and give you my final thoughts, because thank goodness it's not actually internalized fat phobia that makes me not like this book. It's the friends to lovers. Okay, the thing that is getting me right now, they're having this like conversation about like the job that he's taking and blah blah blah, and they're both like really emotional, which, fine, whatever, but neither of them are trying to come up with a solution. They're just talking in circles and trying to get each other to understand why what they want is the correct thing, and no one is willing to compromise or be like, you know what, I don't want to do this, so let's think of like what acceptable alternatives are. How can we both be happy? They're both just like, my way's the right way. No, my way's the right way and you're wrong. And how can you ask me to give up this thing? Well, how can you ask me to give up this thing? And it's like, maybe figure out a way where you don't have to give up something that big. Like, I'm not happy about this. Like, it's one thing for the drama to be, I don't know, earned, but this is just like stupidity, and I can't with it. It's too real, because this is how people actually deal with life, and I'm like, why? Maybe love just isn't a priority for me. And that's why I'm like, why are you idiots like this? Oh my god. Not having a good time. Okay, I'm 367 pages in. I get what the author's doing now. I get the character development. I get it. Still annoyed about it because, like, I guess Peter did have to grow, but also I was finally like rooting for them, and then this.
Good morning. What I thought for this romance vlog, I was like, what's more romantic than flowers? But it's winter, I don't have flowers, but what I do have, I bought these little syrups. So this is rose, and I figured why not every day have a different taste, and I will put them in my coffee because I like drinking flowers in my coffee, you know, like a lavender latte or a rose latte. I probably won't be making any cocktails in this vlog, but I do like making cocktails. So this is hibiscus. We have lavender. And I got these from World Market, my first trip. It was very fun. There's one like an hour away from me, so it's not that often that I get to go. But we have violet and elderflower. The package did come with a couple little recipes. So it has the bitter love cocktail. It uses elderflower, bitters, and gin. I don't like gin. The iced English rose tea. I don't like iced tea, but that has rose syrup and pure cane, like simple syrup, which I did not buy the simple syrup. I use honey. An aviation cocktail has violet, lemon juice, cherry, and gin. Why are all these gin? I guess gin is a very floral alcohol, so it goes with these other florals, but like, I'm not a gin person. The lavender French 75 is also gin, lavender, lemon juice, and champagne. And then a raspberry hibiscus non-alcoholic mojito, that sounds good, which involves mint, lime, raspberries, hibiscus syrup, and lemon lime soda. That one sounds really good, but probably not for winter. I am but a simple bitch, and I put these in my coffee. So let's start with lavender. Lavender lattes are my favorite. Anytime a coffee shop has lavender, that's what I'm ordering. Specifically, I was turned on to this in Minnesota because Spy House Coffee, they have a wonderful lavender latte. So you are actually sitting on my Keurig. I've got my coffee cup, little Space Needle Seattle. I do about that much, yeah? Oh, you can't see. If I tilt it, I'm gonna spill it. But a little bit of lavender syrup in there. Can you hear the standoff happening behind me? Diva, oh my God. She does not like Vino, they don't get along. Baby. Anywho, had to go break up a fight. They didn't fight. She just yells at him and then they stare at each other. And then I sweeten my coffee with honey. Especially I'm not feeling the greatest today. I have a little throat thing. So honey is where it's at. And I read that honey is sweeter than sugar, so you have to use less of it. Oh yeah. Look at that honey shot. Get it? Like a money shot? I'm working on my dad joke black belt, so thank you for your participation. I feel like the camera slowly moved. That's fine. And then honey in that bad boy. All right, let's try this lavender. It's not really a latte, but lavender coffee. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The lavender in that, I can taste just enough of it to be like floral, but not enough that it's overpowering. You still get the coffee like bitterness, but it's a little sweetened by the honey and the lavender. And yes, I love lavender anything. I will eat lavender like treats. Good times. Update on books. I have not yet started Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. I am taking a little break from romance. All right, well, thanks for drinking coffee with me.
Vino's in here, if you can't tell by the crybaby noises. Vino. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Shipwrecked. I've been thinking about it all day because I'm so upsetty spaghetti at this book, basically. I love Olivia Dade's writing, but this was just not it. This was not it for me. I did stay up way too late last night finishing this book, and on the one hand, I'm glad I did it because guess what? Now I'm done. Don't have to read it. On the other hand, tired. Let me explain what's happening and then talk about it. So Peter and Maria are both actors. They have this one night stand, and then the very next day they're in the casting room working opposite each other. They both get cast in parts for this show that is equivalent in this universe to Game of Thrones. It's called Gods of the Gate. For 6 years, they are filming with a small crew on this Irish island. So the book starts with their one night stand, and then we get a couple points throughout filming the other seasons, and then filming the final season and the end. And they build this lovely friendship. It's very much a slow burn. They have fans who are just crazy about their characters being together and them being together. And so that's how the fan fiction aspect does come into it. It's because people are shipping them, and they're shipping them hard. And I get it. We love to see a slow burn, your favorite actors joking around with each other. However, I struggled throughout this book to figure out why it wasn't clicking with me. Why didn't I care for it? Why didn't I care for these characters? And I think it just comes down to I didn't like the characters. I didn't like Maria, and I didn't care for Peter. I liked Peter a little more, but the end conflict was so frustrating because there was no compromise, there was no discussion. It was just this, if this doesn't happen, I'm leaving. And it's like, How is that healthy? And remember earlier when I talked about mistakes were made and I said, for me at least, the goal of a romance, or the optimal romance, is when these two characters fall in love and their learning to love each other bolsters them toward their separate goals. I didn't feel like Peter or Maria had separate goals in this, and I think that's part of the problem. I don't know what she wanted, and I don't know what he wanted prior to meeting each other, because the book becomes about how they want each other. So the book becomes about how much they want each other, and like that's the driving force, is they want each other, which I think just doesn't jive with me. I need my characters to want something outside the relationship. I want them to have goals of their own to accomplish, and somehow falling in love gives them the tools or the confidence or the understanding to get what they want out of life. And even if that's just like having a supportive partner who will help them get what they want. Like, I don't know. But basically, in the end, Peter, and I'll put a spoiler thing on, Peter gets this big job offer after this show is over for a 3-year contract in Vancouver on a CSI type show as a main character. And he has spent a lot of his money from Gods of the Gates on buying this beautiful house in LA and making sure he is comfortable, but it's not by any means consistent, and he's been living off of this money for 6 years, so he doesn't have a very big nest egg yet, and he's not confident in like his ability to continue to get work. So he finds out about this opportunity, and Maria flips her fucking shit. It's not, there's no compromise, there's no, oh, we'll both go to Vancouver, we'll both travel back and forth, or like whatever. She is basically just like, I don't like being away from the people I love, and so if you aren't going to choose me over this job, I'm out skis. And he's like, he's trying to make sense of it, he's trying to keep her, and he's trying to come up with solutions about, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll visit each other all the time, I'll get an apartment in Vancouver, you can come stay with me. And Maria is just like, no, I moved from Sweden to LA for you, and now you want me to move to Vancouver for you. And like, I think there's a huge acting community in Vancouver too, so you're gonna be able to audition for jobs there. Like, I just don't understand. As soon as there was a speed bump, she was like, deuces, I'm out. And for someone who proclaims to love him so much, she did not, I don't know, she just had no compromise. There was no willing to meet him where he is. She was just like, this is what I need, and he can't give it to me, so he doesn't love me enough. And I hate that. I kind of hate that. So that's why I was so angry last night. And then they do resolve it, because Peter goes to this alumni thing and realizes what he wants out of life and out of his career. And what he wants is to do interesting, meaningful acting work. It doesn't need to be a steady paycheck. It just needs to be interesting parts. Which, great, love that he's gotten to a point in his career where he doesn't need to chase success. He's happy with what he's doing. But it was so sudden, and after this thing with Maria, I was kind of frustrated. It made sense. The author brought it back around. Olivia Dade, she's good. She knows what she's doing. She brought it back around. I understood where Peter was coming from and why he was going to give up this 3-year contract, this main character role. I don't know. Is there some misogyny in the fact that Maria standing up for herself frustrated me? But she didn't stand up just for herself. She was just I don't know how to explain it. So in the end, of course, they get back together, and he explains that, he can find roles in LA, and if she wants to move, they can move. He'll sell the house. All he needs is her. It kind of becomes one of those things where once these two people fall in love, they are inseparable. They're the same person. They can't be apart. And I find that pathetic. I think the whole relationship, this whole worldview in this book was opposite of my worldview, and I just did not get along with it. I'm very upset about it because I've loved the other two books in this series. All the Feels is one of my favorite romances, full stop. Like, not just of hers, but like, I love those characters. I love that story. This, no. And I'm so sad about it. And you'd think, Megan, are you giving this 1 star? No, of course not. I'm giving it 3 stars because, like, for other people, I'm sure this is going to be fantastic. Other people are going to love it. Not me, because I'm a single shrew, apparently. And when people give up on their careers for love, I'm like, wow, that's lame. That's how I'm going to sum it up. The good news is Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail came a day or 2 ago. So I'm excited to read this. I think I'm going to take a little break from romance though, because this made me sad. So I'll update you when I start reading this. So of this vlog, if this is good, of this vlog, the only loser, the only suck book is the one with a dude in it. What does that say? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I like straight romances, I swear. This is a bad intro. Good morning. I might be wearing the same shirt as yesterday. This is my sleep shirt, don't worry about it. I definitely need this coffee today because my company's holiday party was last night and it was so much fun. The food was so good. They had a mac and cheese bar. Yes, and I discovered I do like pavlovas. I had never had one before, but the fruit on that was so fresh, and then the meringue just like dissolved. Oh my god, it was all so good. They had macarons. I don't know how to say that word. They had, excuse you, there's a cat. It was just so good. Now I need coffee, and let's see, we tried lavender the other day. Let's do violet. This has a very like blueberry scent. Ooh, what if I just dripped it all? And I am using the same mug. This is my favorite mug. It is the perfect shape and size, and I have a whole mug collection, and I just use the same mug every morning for my coffee. Probably need to do more honey because my throat is a little scratchy from all the screaming and singing. I feel like telling you who was at the holiday party, if you Googled it, would give away where I work, and I don't know if I want to do that. So I'm not going to, sorry. But it was amazing. It was basically like a concert. All right, let's try violet. This coffee's very hot. I can't really taste it. Guess I'm gonna put more in. The coffee that I made this morning, I also got from World Market. It is the Coffee and Chicory Cafe du Monde blend, and it's a little strong. It's not, so I need to do my research, but I believe that chicory was used as a coffee substitute back in the day when coffee was too expensive, and so it has more of a woody taste, and it is like not as good as coffee in my opinion, and also the fact that it was a substitute when people couldn't get coffee makes me believe like you'd take coffee over chicory. I tend to like dark blends, and I actually don't know what kind of blend this coffee and chicory is. Let's try this again. I can kind of taste it. I'm not gonna put more syrup in. I don't want to like waste it. It's pretty good. I like I put a lot in there. I do like the violet syrup. I think this would be a fantastic lemonade, violet lemonade. Yes. First update on Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. I started this at work and I almost took a video at work because I was on lunch, like it was fine, but I didn't want to be the weirdo talking to their phone. It was probably going to have to be really quiet, so I didn't do it. But I am 28 pages in and I already love this. Potential to be 5 stars. You know, chill out. We know Astrid from Delilah Green Doesn't Care, but in this first chapter, we know that it has been about 10 months since her failed wedding. Her business is kind of in trouble. She's had to let go of her assistant and her receptionist. So now her business is really just her as a designer, and she's getting an opportunity to renovate this inn that is famous in their town for being haunted and being really cute. It's been around for years, and she is going to get to renovate it on a renovation TV show. So that's exciting. Love that for her. And in this first chapter, she's wearing this beautiful white dress and she's going into the coffee shop to meet her girls, Claire and Iris and Delilah. And someone rushes out the door and spills coffee all over her beautiful white dress. And she reacts like kind of a bitch. And she admits it herself because this is her big opportunity. She's going to meet the TV people. She picked out this dress for this occasion because it makes her feel like a badass, and now it's ruined. And who should be the one to ruin it but our second point of view chapter, Jordan. Jordan has just moved to Bright Falls to help her grandmother renovate the inn. She is the contractor, and in her first point of view chapter, which is the second chapter, it's really her reacting to Astrid's bitchiness, breaking down a bit because her life feels like it's not going great. She's just moved here from Georgia. Her twin brother is helping her grandmother renovate this place. He's like convinced them to do this, kind of. I think Jordan had a wife, and it's been about a year since that event. So she's trying to heal from her grief. Her job kind of fell apart because she wasn't caring as much. She feels like kind of a mess. And her first interaction with Astrid kind of makes that apparent, that she feels like a mess. She kind of might be. But just the way this is written, the descriptions of their clothes, the descriptions of their personalities, like in the first chapter, you already know so much about Astrid. And then in the second chapter, one chapter, we learn so much about Jordan. She gets out her tarot cards because she's feeling upset, and she gets a 2 of Cups, which is like soulmates, fated, like your other half. So just from like those small moments and the way they're dressed and the way they're described, you kind of get an idea of who the character is, right? I love Ashley Herring Blake's writing so much. I have already pre-ordered Iris Kelly Doesn't Date, and she just revealed the cover for that like a week ago. I pre-ordered it cover unseen because I love her books so much. I'm so excited to get into this. I feel like I've been slogging through books lately, and I feel like I could just fly through this in a weekend. That's what I'm hoping to do because Valentine's is coming up. So I'll update you maybe in another 50, 60 pages. We'll see. I am about to go get my hair redone, so all these like bluish weird green streaks are gonna be bright pink. But let's talk real quick about Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. I am loving this. I'm about 90 pages in now. We are getting a really good view of Astrid and how she has become so uptight about why she is the way she is, why she thinks she needs to be perfect. Oh my God, the scene with her mom, they were having brunch and it was just brutal. Her mom like pulled the croissant off her plate. Like, why are you gonna serve it if you don't want her to eat it? Come on. Just absolutely rough. And then Jordan over here has like a secret plan for redoing the inn where she's taking Astrid's like boring beige and gray and luxurious blandness and making it interesting. And I'm so excited to see the fallout of that. And like, their dynamic is already so interesting. Like, this is enemies to lovers. You can see that they're attracted to each other and that in different circumstances they might get along, but things are kind of in the way. And then as they talk about those things and understand each other, they're gonna fall in love and it's gonna be so cute. All right. Oh, my jacket kind of matches. Anyway, I gotta go get my hair done. I arrived a little early, so now I need to go. It is the next day. Forgot to update you on the hair, but here it is. Very pink for Valentine's and romance, am I right? So it also fades into like purple. Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. Look at that big pink stripe. So that was the hair that I got done yesterday, and I have read like 40 more pages of this. I'm halfway through, and it is just wonderful. Like, the friendships in here, Astrid and Jordan's banter and their dynamic, and Astrid is like figuring out her sexuality, and it's just so good. Like, I love every aspect of it. The romance, the design show, the interior design stuff, the haunted inn, like, it is perfection. It is everything I wanted. And I genuinely like should have gone to bed 20 minutes ago, and I couldn't stop reading. So we've got that like midpoint shift just happened, where in both like the romance and the house design plot, that shift has happened. So I'm excited to see how the like dark night of the soul comes into it and how the romance progresses, because we just had like a really tense, sexy moment that got interrupted, and so nothing happened, and I'm like, we are halfway through this book. It's like I'm just over here screaming, now kiss. So can't wait to read more of this. Why do I have to go to work? Ugh. It's kind of a MySpace angle, but you know what? I got the hair to match, don't I? Hello, happy Valentine's Day. In this romance vlog, I got a little thing that says Smitten Kitten. We're in the kitchen. There's vino. Let's try the elderflower syrup. I haven't tried a syrup in a while. This is the last one that I need to taste. So this Le Sirop de Monin is French. Everyone knows the French are romantic or whatever. It's kind of cloudy at the top, and I don't know if that's like sugar or just normal or what. But I got my coffee. Ooh, I don't know if this is gonna be good. Hope I don't ruin my whole cup of coffee because I gotta go to work. Oh, sorry, Dade. You know what though? So I like tasted a bit from the spoon, and it kind of has like a floral citrusy vibe, and I love the violet flavoring, and that has like a floral berry vibe. So let's try it. Okay, it's definitely more powerful than the hibiscus, because when I put hibiscus in my coffee, I have a hard time tasting it. I think that's like more of a lemonade / cocktail flavor. But the elderflower is holding its own. I can definitely, oh, look at that curl. Get out of here. I can definitely taste a tinge of the elderflower like floral, but it's not overpowering and it's not gross, which is what I was afraid of. Oh yeah. And I'm sure elderflower, they have like ingredients for cocktails. I know like gin is a thing, but I don't like gin. We don't do gin. I'm a tequila girl. So hibiscus and tequila, yes. Elderflower and tequila, I don't think that would work. We're talking about coffee, and it's pretty good. Hi, China. So real quick update on Astrid Parker. I am 240 pages in, and I'm loving it. I've got like 100 pages left, and I just don't want to get to the third act conflict, because so far they are so cute, and their banter and the way that Astrid gets to like let go and have fun when she's with Jordan, and like their design is coming together, and I feel like The third act conflict is going to have to do with the design and the sort of subterfuge that they are doing there, because they both really respect Natasha Rojas, who is the one who hosts the In America No Squeak. So she's the one who hosts the Inside America TV show that they are on, and I feel like the third act conflict is going to be something to do with that, and I'm not looking forward to it. In other news, I bought this ring and I'm putting it on my middle finger because I think that's funny. It's very chunky, but I'm here for it. And this big boy is gonna try and get white fur all over my black sweater. No! R.I.P. Oh my goodness. I will film like a sit down total like review at the end of this tomorrow, whatever, but I just finished Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. I've been reading it for like the last hour, could not stop, didn't want to stop, don't care about not getting enough sleep, don't care about work tomorrow. I just needed to finish this book. I kind of want to cry. I loved it so much. Astrid's journey, Jordan's journey, and listen, this has my favorite thing in romances, where the two characters get what they want out of life by falling in love. Like, yes, that is it. Their journey makes sense because they get what they want through falling in love with each other. They learn from each other, and like their confidence is built up, and like they figure shit out together. Like, that is it. That is perfect. It's the pretty woman rule. That's what I'm calling it. And if a book has the pretty woman rule in it, then I'm gonna love it. So this is 5 stars. It might be my favorite romance that I've read. It might be. I'm gonna put that out there. Maybe at the end of the year I'll figure that out. But yeah, Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. Absolutely fantastic. Ashley Herring Blake, one of my favorite authors. Will buy everything and anything she writes. I just finished it and I had to share. Like, the third act conflict made perfect sense. So lovely. Now I'm gonna go to sleep. Okay. Final thoughts on Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. Phenomenal. Amazing. Talented. Just everything that I wanted. Obviously 5 stars. Like, best romance I maybe have ever read. I just loved everything about this story, right? From the Vino, why you gotta rub on loud stuff? Bud. Everything from the design show like aspect to the romance to the friendships. Vino, stop. You can crinkle later. Every aspect of this was perfect. I especially loved Astrid's journey of, buddy, stop crinkling. Stop crinkling. I especially love this goober. Are you my Valentine? I especially loved Astrid's journey of discovering her bisexuality, or, you know, whatever. She does call it bisexuality, but there is some learning. I loved the dismantling of expectations in this and how Astrid struggled with them and then just became her own person. I nearly cried when I finished this book because it was just so good. I am interested to see how the third book in the like companion series goes, because it's about Iris, and I'm not super invested in her character. I think Astrid is probably my favorite because like I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, a little bit type A. Dynamics in this, the sex scenes were good. Everything, absolutely everything. Amazing. And one of the things that romances can get really wrong for me is the third act conflict, that moment when like the fake breakup, or, you know, when everything comes to a head before the resolution. And this book did it so wonderfully. It made sense for the characters. It made sense for the plot. It wasn't a miscommunication. It wasn't stupid. It played on both of their insecurities, but ultimately wasn't a deal breaker. It wasn't a betrayal. It freed them essentially from the situation that restrained them. And God, the resolution we get for their like separate storylines in addition to the resolution to the romance, I think that Ashley Herring Blake is wonderful at her structure, her plot structure, and her pacing is just, it's perfect. So let's wrap this up. I read Mistakes Were Made by Meryl Wilsner, gave this 5 stars. I've read online that they call it their MILF romance, and that's just amazing. Hilarious, wonderful, like, yes. Then I read Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade. 3 out of 5 stars. Did not like the characters, did not connect to them, didn't like the third act conflict. And then Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail by Ashley Herring Blake. 5 out of 5, amazing. Favorite of the video, even though I really did love Mistakes Were Made. So these were the 3 books I read. A very like blue color palette, blue to green. What did I learn? What did I learn about myself? What did I learn about my reading taste? So far, Sapphic romances have not let me down. Surprisingly, in the heterosexual romance I read, the man was not the one who let the story down. I didn't like the female character. So if you made it through this whole video, leave a, like, is there a disco ball emoji or like a little dancing emoji? Because I'm still buzzing that I got Taylor Swift tickets. And that was like 3 months ago. If you like this video, you could click the like button, you could subscribe, but really, you can do whatever you want. And I'll see you next time.